Hi, Jason. How are you doing today?
Oh, very well. Thanks. It's good to be on with you.
Yeah, so thank you for being here. And maybe you can just start off by giving us a bit of an introduction about your company, Silver North Resources.
Yeah, Silver North's a relatively new company. We reorganized it just over a year ago to focus on silver exploration in northern Canada, specifically Yukon territory. We've got two projects in the Yukon. Both are targeting high-grade silver mineralization, and both are road accessible. And I think what's really interesting is both areas that we're working are known silver districts. We've got two of North America's largest silver producers, either as a partner or as a neighbor. So I think it just shows both these areas are known for their silver potential, but are kind of both a bit unrecognized. And I think that's created a really fantastic opportunity for Silver North and its shareholders.
Let's talk a bit about more of the recent, the small exploration program that you did for Haldane, and maybe could you share some of the highlights? It's not a huge program, but seems quite significant in terms of the results.
Yeah, at Haldane, we've got probably our most advanced target we call West Fault. That's a discovery we made in 2020. Followed that up with some really good drill holes in 2021, including a 3.14 meter true width intersection of it was 1,351 grams per ton silver, incredibly high grade, really nice width of mineralization as well. And so one of the holes we drilled this year was a 50-meter step out on that mineralization. We've got a couple ideas of how the mineralization might be oriented, and one of them was to step out 50 meters to see if it was continuing that direction. The other thought was maybe it was 50 meters down the dip, so that'd be the next hole we drill there. But that's our West Fault. We've got mineralization over 100-meter by 90-meter area at that target, and that was a brand new discovery we made. That was there's no surface expression of that mineralization, so that was a really kind of a game changer for us at Haldane to see nice thick veins that were high grade. It was kind of a proof of concept for us. Another discovery we made there is called Bighorn. We had hoped to drill a hole there this year, but unfortunately, with the way the pad conditions were, we couldn't get the drill rig onto the pad. And to be honest, we actually wanted to drill a second hole at the other target we drilled. I'll talk about in a second. But at Bighorn, what we're excited about there is that's 3 kilometers away from any known mineralization at Haldane. We found this using soil sampling, had a nice high-grade lead silver anomaly on surface, drilled a hole, and we hit some lead zinc silver veins. And so that was exciting. They're not high grade yet. We haven't hit the high grades. We've got 150 grams silver over a couple meters. But the significance is that we've got brand new veins, the right style of mineralization, the right style of alteration. And if you talk to Hecla, who's our neighbor mining these deposits at their Keno Hill Mine, they'll tell you that when you get that style, the right style of vein and the right style of mineralization, you have very good chances of making a discovery of ore grade mineralization stepping out. These veins can change very quickly. 50 meters away, you can have an ore grade intersect and start building from there. So that's Bighorn. That's another really exciting one for us. And then the third discovery, which, it's maybe a bit early to call it a discovery, but it's at our main fault. And that's where we drilled 2 holes this year, trying to hit mineralization that we actually do see on surface at this target. It's lower grade, but we expect to see that on surface because of the surface weathering. You start to dislocate or move away some of the mineralization. So low-grade mineralization on surface can be very significant. So we drilled 2 holes to test that at depth. We hit a nice, strong structure. It looks like it is going to be productive, but we hesitate to say that it will be productive until we actually get the assays back from that, which will be sometime later this fall.
Sounds really exciting indeed to look forward to. Maybe we can talk a bit more about some other aspects of the companies besides the projects. As investors, they always look for the team, the management, or the people behind the projects. Can you share with us some of the highlights about your team? What are the advantages of progressing this project with your team?
Yeah, well, so I'm a geologist by background. I'm president and CEO of the company, but I am heavily involved in the technical aspects of the company. I've been involved in discoveries in the Yukon before. I was part of the team that made the Wolverine discovery, eventually became the Wolverine mine in Yukon territory. Rob Duncan, who's our vice president of exploration, probably one of the smartest exploration geologists that I know as far as evaluating early stage prospects and targeting. So I think the two of us together have a good background. We probably have close to 50 years of exploration experience combined between the two of us in the Yukon. That's where I've spent most of my career. So we know how to operate there. And I think that's really important. And then we're backed by a financial team that really helps us out in the raising money and the financial affairs of the company. And that's our executive chairman, Mark Brown, he has built successful junior exploration companies, taking them from very small micro cap companies to $500 million companies listed on the NYSE. So that's exciting, to have that backing. And then also on our board, there's a mix of financial, and Craig Lindsay, another guy that's had a lot of experience in junior mining and selling junior exploration companies. Great financial background with Craig. And then a geological engineer, mining engineer, Mark Blythe, who he's built mines. So, that's the kind of guy you can go to and say, if we find what we think we can find here, is that likely to be a mine? And he can provide that insight for us. So really helps us focus what we look for and how we look for it, so that we can try to get the best value for our shareholders.
And obviously, you may want to spend more time in doing further exploration in your projects you mentioned earlier. So do you have any future financing plans?
Yeah, and I think the way we're looking at that is, we have results from these two projects that we have to get released first, and once those are out, then we can kind of pick a window of when it's time to raise money. We won't go back into the field until the spring. I think, although we could work either of our projects through the winter, I think starting a project in the winter when you're not set up, it's very costly. So we'll wait till the spring. That gives us a nice window between, say, the end of November, when we'll have a lot of our results back, and the first few months of 2025 to look at raising some money. But yeah, we do need to put some funds in the treasury to conduct bigger program at Haldane than what we did this year. I think we wanted to fit this one in before the end of the year, and with the way the markets were until recently, it was difficult to raise money. I think that's changing, especially over the last week. No doubt you've seen how the silver prices performed, and I think that's really going to open some doors for financing here as we move forward, especially if we have some results like we think we could get from these two projects.
The silver has quite a good one this year, I think, for over 30% up to date now, and you're primarily a silver explorer. So what's the thoughts on the outlook for in the next in next year or two? Positive?
Very. I think, we, as I touched on earlier, we kind of reorganized the company to form Silver North to really take advantage of a strong silver market. We thought, just when you look at not only the financial aspects of silver and its monetary uses, we just saw the demand side really exploding. And that, a lot of that has to do with silver's use in technologies, especially things like solar panels. That growth has been, it's not quite exponential, but it's been very steep growth curve for the demand for silver for that application. But it's all kinds of applications. It's being used in nuclear. It's being used in fuel cell technologies. And as these other technologies grow, I think you'll see silver demand increase for those. I mean, that's something we've seen over and over. I remember when print photography, when that industry started to wane and digital photography took over, they said it was the end of the silver market. And it's been, the demands for solar panel, silver use in solar panels is way out eclipsed what the demand was for print photography. So that's the kind of demand we see for silver. And we really wanted to position ourselves so that we were a primary silver explorer, which there aren't very many of, that would be sought after by investors when this occurred. And I think we're just starting to see that now. This year has been a bit of an awakening for it, and I think that's going to continue. And having two great silver projects with nice high grades, I think is really key to be on investors' radar screens for us over the next few years.
So amongst what's happening for the silver price this year, Silver North is still relatively cheap. It's a stock price. So do you think it's undervalued, and why should investors consider investing into your company?
I think I definitely think it's undervalued, and I think just in the last month since start of September, we have one seller in our market that's been I think helping keeping the price down, and I think we're getting close to getting through that. And I think so. What happens then is, when you don't have the selling, obviously, if you've got buyers there, the share price is going to go up. And I think those buyers come in for a couple different reasons. One is the opportunity to be involved in a discovery. That's the best way to add value to a junior exploration company. And I think that our projects being high grade silver projects, one of the things investors look at is like, well, great, you've got some silver intersections. What does it really mean? I said, the fact that we have Hecla's a neighbor in the Keno district, 100-plus-year-old silver mining district. I think those results carry a little bit more significance, knowing that you're in a silver producing area, known for its very high grades, and then being partnered with Coeur Mining at our Tim project. I guess that's another sort of support for the work and the projects we have. So for an investor, I think it can give them some comfort that the projects that we're exploring are very good quality projects with chances of making discoveries that can turn into economic deposits. So I think that's what investors are looking for. And I think when you sort of roll into that, the fact that we are in a silver market that seems to be headed upwards over the next few years, I think it kind of comes together very, very nicely for anybody looking to invest in Silver North.
Great to hear. So thank you for your time with us here today, Jason, sharing your story of Silver North to the audience.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I look forward to future updates on our progress on these projects.
For sure. We'll speak until next time. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.